I have to re-enroll for Spanish because you need 2 years of Spanish to graduate.
Okay.
They give me the same teacher.
Oh gosh, that's brutal, dude.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah, that's no bueno. That wasn't even meant to be a Spanish joke. That just went way too well with it.
And well, with that, welcome to A Lot About a Little, the show where we both, two white guys who really know Spanish, and we talk a little bit about a lot of things every week. A bit about a little each. I don't know, dude. I feel like I need to write that phrase down somewhere.
Yeah. What, the name of the podcast? Is that what you're
No, the
confused about?
The tagline, dude.
Oh,
talk a little
okay.
bit about. We talk a lot about a little bit of something different.
Talk
each
a lot
week.
about a little.
We talk a little bit about a lot of things.
Yeah.
Welcome to A Lot About a Little.
We're back. Episode 10. Double digits. How does that feel?
It really, I mean, you know, what it feels good. Didn't think most podcasts don't get it this far, so
I would love to see the statistics for how many podcasts reach like certain episode milestones.
yeah. So
Which I would be very I don't know. I'd be very interested to look at that data. But yeah, episode 10. How about that?
the next milestone will be 25. So we've
25.
got yeah. I mean, because 20 is, but
What
you know.
if I've had this idea floating around in my head.
Oh boy.
What if for episode 24, it is a 24-hour live streamed episode?
That sounds like a terrible idea. We did that.
I knew you would say that.
I did that once in college. I did a 24-hour
Yeah.
stream for my radio show,
Yep.
and that was brutal. It was
So why not do it
physically
again?
exhausting.
Yeah, those
Physically exhausting. It was tough.
are tough. The longest I did at one time was 6 hours, and that was tough enough.
Well, what we're talking about today is strange hobbies, and
Yeah.
those of you that know me know I have a few.
A
Reed,
few.
I don't know how well versed you are in my hobbies,
Yeah.
but so if we're being honest, don't have a lot of friends. So I had to keep myself entertained, especially during COVID, because we didn't see a lot of people during COVID, you know what I mean?
Sure.
So that's when the hobbies started kicking in. Okay. So the first hobby that I think is a little strange that I got into was the Rubik's Cube, right? Really
Okay.
into
Yeah.
twisty puzzles. I don't know if you've ever
What are other
established-
twisty puzzles?
I mean, they have the 2x2, the 3x3, the 4x4, the 5x5. They also have
Oh,
the pyramid.
okay.
They also have the 1x1. Very difficult. That might be a little bit more your speed. The 1x1. They also have the
one
Rubik's
by one?
Magic.
What? Isn't that just
Yes.
a die?
Yes. And so, again, a little bit more your speed. Glad you're keeping up with me here.
Oh, gosh.
They have,
When you said like
I mean,
twisty stuff, I thought you were gonna like say that you got into like a Bop It as well or something.
I did get into Bop It for a while. There was a Bop It Bounce. That was a big thing. So it was like
A what?
a Bop It Bounce. It was called Bop It Bounce, and
I
it
gotta
was a
look
little
this up.
foam ball, and you would bounce it on the little trampoline as many times as you could, and that was like a thing. So Bop It Bounce. Again,
Oh.
you thought you were going to
Okay.
get me with the weird Bop It. I see.
I kind of did, honestly.
I do
Huh.
have some strange Bop It
Bop It
hobbies.
Bounce. You can buy it on eBay for $22.
$22.
Yeah, probably. I assume it's not worth it.
No, it's not worth it. You get the same effect with a ping pong ball and ping pong paddle. Same thing.
Yeah. These things are going for $60 on Amazon.
Oh gosh, maybe I should.
Do you still
I
have
had
yours?
two. I was double fisting. I would bop over the head.
You got a gold mine sitting somewhere in your house with these two
I
Bop It
know,
Bounces,
right?
dude.
I'm gonna have to find those.
Sell those
Little
things,
did
yeah.
I know they were woven in gold on the trampoline.
Pay off your student loans with the Bop It Bounce, folks.
But yeah, we would have challenges. Around that time was super into Jenga as well.
Who is
So it
we?
became
When we talk about we,
well, just me. It was basically just me. I
Okay.
played Bop It Bounce by myself.
me
I
and all
bought-
my imaginary friends.
Well, it was the three of us, me, myself, and I, and we played all of the games. So
Yeah.
again, got really good at Jenga.
You played Jenga with yourself?
Yes, that was a.
Are
that
you
was,
kidding?
Yes,
Oh, this is peak pandemic, dude.
peak pandemic. I also have the lawn Jenga, so the extra large Jenga made with
Oh.
2x4s. It's very large.
We're at the
And-
point where I feel like we're far enough removed from the heart of the pandemic that we can look back at it and say, gosh, we did some weird things during quarantine. And I think that's what this episode is just going to be about.
That actually is. I'll get to what I learned. A lot of, like I said before, a lot of the hobbies that I'm into now stem from things learned during the pandemic. Like,
Sure.
Rubik's Cube was a little bit before that, but
Okay.
we get to the pandemic, and that's where the weird things start to pile up. Right.
Okay.
First thing I learned to do in the pandemic and took up was juggling clubs. So like pin juggling. And the reason behind me
okay,
learning
the
to do
pin,
this. Yeah, the
Yeah.
reason behind me learning to do this was I still had my neck brace on. And
Oh.
I didn't want to do this in the house, so I probably look like a crazy person. There's a photo of me, and I would stand in my front yard with my neck brace on, juggling pins, and I legitimately think my neighbors thought I was like a sociopath or something.
I mean, I probably would have as well. You probably looked insane.
I definitely did, because that was when the hair was starting to grow out too. So I looked
Oh,
like a
gosh.
caveman in a
Long
neck
hair,
brace.
neck brace,
Long hair,
juggling
don't
pins
care.
in your driveway.
Yes, and that was even that was during the time when I couldn't ride the unicycle, and so we
Okay.
were that's another hobby.
Did you ever ride the unicycle and juggle the pins at the same time? Did you ever get to that level?
Have not done that yet. That's a little bit
Okay.
too dangerous for me still.
That's fair. That's like circus
because-
act level of unicycle and pin juggling.
Yes. So unicycling, that's actually surprisingly a good workout. I know you are also an avid unicycler.
Well, I unicycle, but my unicycle has two wheels. I
Yeah.
can't see how unicycling would be a good workout, though. I feel like you would engage your core a lot. You
It's-
know?
I mean, I ride around the block one time on the unicycle, and that is it's a full body workout.
Yeah, because you
because
got your legs
it
obviously
engages
pedaling. You got your
muscles.
core, like, with helping your balance, you know?
And your
Yeah.
upper body too, because
Your upper body for
you're
balance, yeah.
counteracting, movement that's happening,
Yeah.
and you're trying to stay awake, not stay awake, but stay up. I'm trying to stay awake right now. I'm trying to
Have
stay
you ever
up
fallen
on the
asleep
unicycle.
on the unicycle?
No, but that would be a bad day. You talk
Yeah, it
about,
would be, yeah.
You got to kiss the concrete a little bit, but
So, a question about a unicycle.
all
I
right.
know that with a bike, if you roll a bike down a hill without any person riding it with enough speed, it will self-balance. Do you think there is a point where a unicycle would do the same, or is that physically impossible because of the weight of the seat up top?
Yeah, it's pretty impossible because the seat, it doesn't have any way to keep itself aligned, and
that is
also
true.
the pedals. Not that this is a make or break situation, but the pedals are attached to the wheel. So I guess you're talking about when nobody's on it, though. So I guess you
When
couldn't
no
even,
one's
because-
on it. Yeah.
Right. I do know what you're referring to, like the Ghost Rider thing.
Yeah.
But no, I don't think, unfortunately, the unicycle would be able to do that.
That makes sense. Oh, yeah, I guess because the pedals on the unicycle are directly attached to the wheel. Like, you can't coast on a unicycle.
Correct. So that's how you can go backwards, because you can't really
Oh,
stop.
sure.
You have to kind of rock back and forth, so
Sure.
like you're going
Oh.
forward and backward.
Oh,
like,
to, like, sit still.
yeah.
you're
so
saying,
you're
yeah.
hovering a little bit.
Yeah, it's like on, like, a bike, you call it a track stand.
Yeah, kind of
Yeah,
like that.
okay. Interesting. All right, the more you know.
the more you know about unicycle riding. But yeah, I have a couple more Did you what's your hobbies looking like? I don't want this to be all about me here.
I don't have many weird hobbies, I would say. I bike, I play hockey, and I
Okay.
have recently picked up golf.
Oh, okay.
Yes. I went
Golf?
maybe 3 weeks ago with some buddies from work because the intern we had this summer was getting into golf as well himself. So we went to, there's a local par 3 course that we went to, and
Very
it was a
nice.
good time. I found out that I was naturally able to hit a golf ball straight. So that was fun. So
naturally.
I mean, with an iron at least. I haven't hit a driver yet, and I feel like that's when everything goes out the window.
Yeah.
But I got some clubs off of Facebook Marketplace, and I've been going out a little bit. I've been enjoying it. Like I find when you're learning something new, it's very, it can be very like addicting to learn something new and to get out and try something new.
Yes.
It was the same when I started to learn to ice skate and
Yes.
play hockey. Like you get hooked really quick, and that very rewarding feeling of learning something new. Like I'm feeling that all over again with golf.
Yeah. Golf is its own monster to learn, that's for sure. But hey, you ever watch this guy on YouTube, Mike Boyd? He's the guy who learned. His whole video
was
is
the
just to
one-
learn how to do stuff.
Yeah, like he learned like how to ride the backwards bike that one guy made, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. I like his stuff.
Yeah, he's really cool. But I don't think he's learned to play golf yet on the channel. But I mean, I feel like I picked up golf a couple years ago, and I'm also still learning how to play because it's just that tedious. We'll call it.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's so many. I feel like there's so many like fine intricacies of it that you need to learn.
Yeah.
Between like hand positioning or your swing, your follow through, your footwork, and all that stuff, and what kind of spin you're putting on the ball and how that all works. It's not as straightforward as the pros on TV would make it out to be.
Yeah. I've always wanted to. There's a few things that I've always wanted to like take lessons for. And I think golf is one of those things just to like have someone who actually knows what they're doing correct your swing. Like I have a couple friends. I have one friend in particular who is looking to become a golf pro at some point. And so he's a great person to go out with because he'll like
a
give
pro
you feedback.
golf instructor.
Right. Well, like each course has like a golf pro. They're called.
Yeah.
They're called golf pro, where they like he's the guy who's in charge of like lessons, and they do stuff like that. But he's a good resource to go out with because he will kind of correct you, and that's kind of always what I'm looking for in most things is like a solid coach. I think it throws it back to like my youth hockey days,
Sure.
where it's like I'm always looking for like constant feedback, like whether it's good or bad, I just want to know how I'm doing and what I can improve to, or what I can change to improve.
Yeah.
And, that's kind of my thought process behind golf as well. I don't know. I mean, did you like follow a YouTube tutorial or did you just kind of go out there and start whacking?
Interesting word choice there. The first time I went out, I just kind of went out there and took pointers from the guys we were playing with. There's one guy that was out there who I think it's like a single-digit handicap that went with us. That was pretty solid.
Wow.
And was able to give some like good pointers because he plays in tournaments and stuff like that.
Wow.
And then like my boss went along and he's like a decent-ish golfer. He doesn't go out a ton, but.
Yeah.
Like I went out with just him the one time, and like of course at this course we were like there was a very slow group in front of us, as I feel like there always is when I go to this course. So like we would just spend time like chipping and putting on the green or on the green. Is that the right word? The green, right?
Okay, dude.
Why am I blanking on that? I should
Yeah,
know that.
like
It's
the
green.
area
Yeah.
around the hole is the green.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I just totally blanked on what that was for a minute there.
Oh my.
We just like
wait a second.
practiced on the green, I don't know. Like I definitely knew it was the green. I don't know why. I just couldn't find the word.
Say hello to Instagram. This is
my
going,
brain
this is going to be clipped out.
my brain just backfired and
oh gosh. Okay.
let's draw on a blank.
That's painful.
But anyway, we would like spend extra time like working on putting and chipping, and like he taught me about like the orientation of my feet and stuff like that, when I'm putting. To make sure that I wasn't pushing the ball like wide right or anything like that constantly. So that was all good. Because there's only so much you can learn like by yourself, where there comes a point where it's good to have someone watching you that can see it from their perspective,
Yeah.
And that
absolutely.
can give a lot more, valuable insight than, me hitting a ball and just watching it fly.
Yeah. And Nicole just started playing golf recently, and so I've been going out like to the range with her and giving her pointers.
Yeah.
And I feel like that I can more easily give someone else feedback than giving myself feedback, because I try to like watch myself and like correct for things that I see, but it's really easy for me to like look at her and be like, here's what you need to work on. I understand like the mechanics of a golf swing and how it's supposed to look.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I just can't do it consistently, which I think is the hardest part of a game like golf. Consistency is key.
I think the one thing that like clicked for me during the first round, like we got to hole 3 and like they were talking about like breaking your wrist on your backswing.
Oh, yeah.
Like of keeping your club and arms like in line when you start, and then once you pull back at a certain point, breaking your wrist, And like I feel like once I focus on that, like that helped like a lot. I compared it to I played tennis in high school, and it's hitting a golf ball to me is very comparable to serving a tennis ball.
Okay, interesting.
Because you have that one kind of fluid motion of backswing to swing in a tennis serve that you do in a golf swing.
Right.
And both carry the same concept of keeping things relatively simple to minimize, like, I guess, like points where stuff can go wrong along the way.
Right.
So like eliminating like hitches or like making sure that, you're smooth back and then coming forward. Like both those things carried over. So there were a lot of parallels there for me, at least. And kind of framing it in that mindset, I think, helped me initially, at least.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I've always tried to get better, and I still like golfing. As you can see, I'm wearing the polo today.
You look
Not
like
that
you
I
just
was
came
golfing.
like straight off the course. Yeah.
I did. Yeah. No. I just took a quick 9 after work, but but no. Yeah. Golf is great. We'll have to golf. I feel like this podcast is also determining next time we see each other what we're going to be doing. We're going to be golfing.
That's true.
And we're going to be eating calamari. But other than that,
yeah,
I think it's pretty open.
We can eat calamari at the turn.
There you go.
If that's an option. Get some calamari from the cart girl.
Yeah, right.
Because they definitely have that freshly stocked.
Oh yeah, it's in the tank in the back.
Oh God.
But so in terms of other things that I have recently gotten into, in terms of to bring us back onto the proverbial track here, I got into whip making over
whip
COVID.
making.
Yes, like a
bull
whip.
Yeah. Okay.
Like a bull whip.
And this is just for hobby purposes only.
This is correct.
Okay.
This is correct. Paracord bullwhip making has been. I saw a video a long time ago
I would say, how did you get into this? I feel
I
like
watch
all of my hobbies, I have like logical ways of getting into. Like hockey, I'd always watch hockey. Golf, I had someone that golfed. How do you get into bullwhip making?
Well, I spent a lot of time on YouTube, and I saw a video of a guy who
Did you
made
get down a rabbit hole?
Not really, because I follow the guy from MythBusters, Adam Savage.
Oh,
and
okay, yeah.
He is a very passionate whip maker. He weaves his whips out of kangaroo hide. He'll do like 9 belly whips with like 4-plate weaves and stuff out of kangaroo hide, which is the strongest leather. It's the strongest. I know. I want to sound intelligent, so I'm saying all big words.
Throwing out big words. Yeah. Okay.
So
Fair.
he does all these like complex whips, and he's a really big Raiders of the Lost Ark fan.
Okay.
And so he got into that, and then I was like, I kind of want to do that. And instead of kangaroo hide, a lot of people do it out of paracord, which is what I did. So you kind of just weave your way around like the middle core. You make the core first and kind of go around, but it's pretty meditative, honestly. You kind of just sit there and
Weave
away, and it's like basket weaving, which I have not yet gotten into, but is on the list of things to do.
Is it actually?
No, but it seems like something I could at least do once.
Is there a
and be
list of
done.
hobbies that you want to try?
Well, I thought that could be the next talking point.
Oh, okay.
So the next thing will be what would you like to do, or what would the next thing be? But
Yeah.
the most recent thing I've gotten, and then that'll be the end of what I have to say, is magnet fishing.
Okay.
So bought a large magnet, and it attaches to a rope, and you throw said magnet into water, and then
See what comes up.
See what comes up. Simple as that. 1, 2, 3. I mean, I've watched a whole bunch of videos of people online doing that as well.
Have you found anything yet? Have you pulled up like a car or anything yet?
I haven't gone yet. I have the magnet.
Oh,
The magnet is prepared, ready to
it's
go.
in the very early stages of the hobby.
Yes. So
Gotcha.
we're just prepared for that.
Okay.
So that's kind of the next thing I have on the docket. But in terms of, do you have anything that you are looking for to get into? Anything on your hobby list?
I don't know if this counts as a hobby or not, but I would like to get a brew your own beer or brew your own mead kit and try that.
Ooh, that sounds
Because
kind of fun.
I found this page on TikTok. I don't know how familiar you are with mead.
No,
That smile says
not
you have
very.
no idea. Mead
Not
is,
very.
Mead is wine, but it's made with honey.
Oh.
So
That's
you
interesting.
ferment a lot of honey, and you can add berry flavors to it. It's actually quite good. It's like a very sweet wine.
Okay.
But I found this TikTok that is all about the process of making your own mead. I'm like, that's really interesting. And just happened that a couple months back, a coworker got a brew your own beer kit that comes with everything you need to make your own beer at home. I'm like, that also sounds interesting. So maybe I'll try that. That could be something fun. I don't know if it counts as a hobby or not. But it could be something fun to do, and at least try out.
It definitely does. I don't see
feel
why
like
it wouldn't.
If it goes right, it would be very rewarding because, you have something to physically, drink afterwards. You can,
Right.
you can see your own progress, and taste your own progress,
Yes.
if that makes sense.
No,
That's
it,
the big
it definitely
thing, though.
does. Do you know anyone who's done that before?
The beer making?
Well, besides your coworker, have you ever
no.
run into anyone?
No,
No?
I have not met anyone that does home brewing or anything like that. I mean, I've heard people talk about making moonshine and stuff, but this is a little bit more I don't know if sophisticated is the word, but
I don't think sophisticated is the word, my guy.
but it's more organized than moonshine. I don't know. Moonshine making, I just imagine someone just doing it on their stove and hoping that something doesn't blow up or something, Whereas this is a little bit more of a scientific process, I guess, and there's an instruction book that comes along with it to make sure that stuff doesn't go wrong, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, when I think of people making alcohol, I just think of prisoners making it in the toilet, so it can't be that scientific.
I don't know, man. When I think of moonshine, I think of back from the 60s and 70s, and I just remember TV shows having the big metal, I don't know what you called them, but they had all the steam coming out of the top and stuff. Yeah, and if they blow up, you got a fire that starts and stuff like that. That could cause a lot of issues. But this seems like a much more apartment friendly process. How about we go with that?
Fair enough. Yeah.
Something that wouldn't put my security deposit at as much risk as moonshine.
Yeah,
so to
I still
speak.
live with my parents, so I'm free to blow up the house if we need to. I mean,
If you need
if
to.
the recipe calls for it, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
If the recipe called for it, yeah. It's not like an option.
Yeah.
It's not optional. You get to like step 6 and it says like this
well,
step will blow up the house, but you need to do this in
yeah.
order
I mean,
to.
you got the ingredients, you got the berries, you got the honey, you got the dynamite. You're good to go.
Yeah, exactly. How about you? Do you have any new hobbies you'd like to try? I feel like you have a long laundry list of things you would like to try.
And I'm really into like sampling things. I feel like I don't necessarily get into things for like a super long time. I've really wanted to for a long time learn how to play an instrument. I feel like that's kind of a hobby.
Okay.
I got into the harmonica for a while.
Have you ever learned an instrument?
Yeah, I played
when
in
you
the
were
band.
younger?
I played the trumpet in the middle school band.
Okay.
But I'm looking more at the guitar
Okay.
and the piano, some more practical instruments. And you're not going to be pulling out a trumpet
Yeah.
at a party, be like, "Hey guys, look at this." Do. You're not doing that. But you sit down, you play a little.
No. You want to be the guy that pulls the guitar out of the party and can only play like
No.
Wonderwall.
We're gonna be playing. I want to be at least be able to play for like 10 minutes. That's like I'm not gonna be playing in front of people if I can
Okay.
play for like less than 10 minutes because that I feel like.
Just find a really long
I don't know.
song.
I was thinking Bohemian Rhapsody is a 7-minute and
some
just learn that.
I would say like classic rock songs have ones that go 6 or 7
Yeah,
minutes. You could
and
find something
so-
there. Can you learn Thunderstruck on the guitar, on the
Yeah.
acoustic guitar?
Yeah, but I can't sing, so I'll have to learn something that I don't have to sing because my singing is not good. So that's not. Well,
Maybe
no,
you could
that's
learn
not
that
on the
along
list
the
of
way.
things to do. But
I took guitar
Did you?
lessons
I
back
didn't
in
know
middle
that.
schowell. Yeah. My brother had a voice
You had a voice coach?
Like a
Oh.
voice teacher that he went to.
Okay.
He sang. And she also did guitar lessons. So I took guitar lessons for about a year, and then she moved away. And so did my guitar.
Do you remember
lessons.
any of it?
And it's sat in my bedroom ever since. No, not
So
really.
you can't be
I
strumming
would not
away.
remember any of it. I always felt like my fingers were too fat to hold the strings down and not interfere with the other strings. Like I
I
couldn't
don't know.
get
There's
that
some
down
people
properly.
with some pretty meaty fingers that seem to play guitar. I mean, have you seen some of those guitar player fingers? They look like cocktail sausages.
That's fair. I don't know. Maybe I just wasn't doing it right. I just couldn't get that down, and I've never really had the
Yeah, I
desire
don't
to
blame
pick
you.
it back
It's a
up again.
hard thing to learn, honestly. And
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, that's why I've struggled so long to do it. I actually bought a guitar. I have the guitar just
Okay.
sitting. It's sitting like right over there.
Just conveniently sitting there. Yeah.
So
Just like the cheese.
yeah,
whip from
it's
last
just like
episode.
sitting there right next to my chair in case for whatever reason I just suddenly wake up one day and know how to play the guitar because the part that is not fun is learning how to play the guitar.
'Cause that will
so
definitely
I just
happen.
keep thinking one of these days I'm just going to
Yes.
wake up and then I'm just going to know how to play the guitar
Yeah.
and become a musical prodigy.
I think there's also something to be said about learning something as an adult
Yes.
compared to a kid. I experienced
Yes.
this when I was learning to ice skate back in 2020, and I took lessons at the start of that year, like right before the pandemic happened, like in February of 2020.
Where, was that
did, like, a
around
learn to skate.
here?
Oh wait, no. Yeah, no, never mind. That would have been fall of 2020, like after stuff slowly started to
Well,
reopen.
so that was like first year pandemic you were taking lessons. Because 2020 was the year of the first year of
Yes.
the pandemic.
Yeah. It was like November, December. I'm pretty sure. It could have been.
I don't know if
that
stuff
would
was
make sense.
opening.
Because I started skating. No, I started skating in January or February of 2020. Skated until March. Stuff got shut down. Was off the ice pretty much until like October, November. And then I think they were doing smaller class size, so I did a smaller.
And that was
learn
around
to skate.
here? Like around, okay.
Yes.
I feel like I didn't know that.
Yeah. I don't think we knew each other very well.
I thought
then.
you didn't like me when
I think that was
back then.
before.
That hasn't changed very much.
That's a topic for that's a story for another episode. Anyway, learning stuff as an adult is a lot more difficult because I talked to my skating instructor about this, and she said, like for something like ice skating, a kid is so much more willing to just go and try something without any thought of what the repercussions may be. You know, like if you tell them to go like stop on the blue line, they're just going to go try it and they don't care if they're going to fall over. Whereas like as an adult, like I'm asking like for stuff like where does the weight need to be on my blade? Does it need to be on my toes or my heel? You know, when I'm doing whatever I'm trying to do. And I feel like as an adult, it's not so much overthinking. You just want to understand things more thoroughly before you try it. Whereas a kid just doesn't have that foresight at all. So that can make learning things as an adult like a lot more difficult, but also that much more rewarding.
I feel like that is very accurate. And not even just in like ice skating, but just in most things, you know. It's very difficult for adults to learn, and kids are much more receptive to hobbies and learning new things. And when I was younger, I did all sorts of classes on all sorts of different things, you know, and like camps, and learned how to, you know, make fire with, you know, a dry leaf and some toilet paper. And it's like, those are the things that are good to know later in life, and you don't realize how lucky you are when you do stuff like all the activities and all the interests and stuff when you're younger. But then when you get older, you're like, man, I did a lot, and I'm into a lot of stuff, and that's really cool, you know.
I guess it helps too that as a kid, your whole world is just learning stuff until you hit like 18 essentially.
Right.
You know, because you're learning your whole life throughout school, and that's just like the mindset that you're in. And I feel like I would love to see if you ask like the average adult when the last time they truly learned a new skill is. I feel like it would be a significant amount of time.
Yeah, that sounds like a good question of the week. What was the last skill? When was the last time you
that is.
learned?
Look at that. Wow. What a great segue that was.
Do something, and what did you learn? You know, what was the most recent thing you learned how to do as an adult? Maybe it's a Rubik's Cube. Hey, there's a how-to video on YouTube by yours truly on how to solve the Rubik's Cube. So if you're trying to learn, you can find that on YouTube. Yeah.
Wow, look at that.
I might have put it on private.
I didn't know that existed.
If you'd like to see it, I will send it to you.
Make it unlisted. Put the link in the description.
Bio.
Let the people see it.
All right. Well, that was interesting. And you're listening to A Lot About Little exclusively on Spotify. We're also on other social media platforms that Reed will tell you about right now.
Instagram and TikTok at A Lot About a Little Pod. So you can share all your fun
Every time you say that, I wait for you to keep talking, then you don't talk, and then I start talking, and then you also start talking.
I have to pause for
dramatic effect. In broadcasting, you know, silence is powerful.
Yes.
All right, we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for listening. See ya.
See ya.